Let me get that.
I can manage.
Is your hip giving you grief today?
Always gives me grief. And I managed for the last 10 years, so you're a little late for the knight in shining armour routine.
Suit yourself, I'm only trying to help.
God damn it, Stephen. I'm not some useless, sappy girl that you can just string along forever. Look around you. I made all of this. I built it on my own when everyone else had written me off as some poor little cripple.
You know that's not how I see you.
Well, you weren't there, were you? No. You'd given up on me long before the accident.
What do you want from me, Lizzie? I love you. I'll do anything.
Anything except okay? I thought not. I love you too, but sometimes I think you just say what you think everyone else wants to hear.
So we're following the whole situation with the other girl here. The other woman. Oh, out of order. Oh, like all of them. Wow. Or a few of them. The showers. So we're following the other girl here, Lizzie. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of the following storylines... You have something to show me? No? I wouldn't be surprised if one of the following storylines turned out to be Stephen. Just follow this branch here. This is the fourth person right now. So I wouldn't be surprised at what if the fifth and sixth people are Stephen and Kate. That'd be a logical way of continuing. Oh, this looks nice. Oh, but it just goes down to where... Is that where I already was? It might not be. It's a nice little path. It's relaxing. And that's the pool. Alright. Still, I wouldn't mind visiting this kind of place. I've never really been on any sort of camping / RV area that was this nice. But then again, I've never really been to places that are as nice as this whole game, really. This is the most upper class game location I've seen in a long time that wasn't some sort of dystopian sci-fi thing about how corruption makes people, like how rich people are evil or whatever the hell. Which is what a lot of sci-fi is about. Or what makes people human. Alrighty then. Let's wrap this up then. What happens to Lizzie?
Sleeping baby, darling child, clouds and starlight, starlight, starlight. When you wake, you will be mine. Starlight, sleep and love. Shh. Sleeping baby, shadow dust, clouds and starlight. Numbered starlight. When we're called to go, we must. Into starlight. Sleep and love.
Is he asleep? You alright, kiddo?
I'll be alright. You should get some sleep, Charlie. You look exhausted. Shh. That's it. Sleep. Sleep.
There were many. And then there were none. No one at all. Interesting, that one didn't seem to have Lizzie in it at all. Well, I guess it had everyone in it. In the end, it didn't really matter who kept track of the baby. Or who slept with who. Or who wanted to sneak off to Spain. Or whether they found their goddamn dog by the river. Alright, Captain Sparkles. Who do you have for me next? Who else's final moments do we get to witness? That's definitely 2 balls now. 2 solid ones. There was the one with the little vortex going around it, the smaller satellite. But there's 2 large ones now, too. Whatever's going on, it's growing. Growing in number. There was like a dust cloud on the ground. So they're having physical effects on the world. So these sparks things, these must be what did everything, right? And they're growing in power, they're learning how to communicate. They're communicating with me. What if I'm Kate? What if every radio says things in Kate's voice because that's actually my thoughts? And I'm questioning what's become of me because this is what I'm witnessing. Steven. I called that one, I guess.
There's data coming through faster than I can encode it. I've already lost 2 processors. They keep burning out.
Please, I love you. You need to get out of there. It's not safe.
I need you, Steven. I need you here. I can open the gate manually. I can let you in.
It's too dangerous. You don't understand what's happening
No,
out here.
you don't understand. We can solve this. We can find a way. I just need more power. I need to amplify the signal, and I can't do it on my own. You saw the opportunity. You ran the numbers, remember?
We're responsible for all this. You and me.
It's not just you and me anymore, though, is it?
Jesus, Kate, you're trying to talk to it, aren't you? Kate, you can't.
Steven, I have to.
And then the world blinked out. Little glimpse of farmland down there. Alright, Steven. What are the last things you experienced? What can you show us about Kate? And about the apocalypse? And what might be some kind of alien form? Oh, that sun. Wow.
It's completely dead. It won't start.
It's only a short walk to the camp. I think we should split up. You go and fetch Rachel. I'll go back to the village and find Evie.
I don't think we should split up.
I don't want to either, Charlie, but we've got to. I'll meet you back at my house later on, okay? We can talk properly then.
Why won't you tell me what happened?
No, actually, you should stay at the camp tonight. Come and find me in the morning. Bring Rachel back. She's going to need her mother.
Meg.
Just take care of her.
Meg!
What is it, Charlie?
Nothing. Just be careful, that's all.
I will, I promise. You as well. I'll see you later on.
So part of this event, this thing that supposedly goes through electronic devices, stopped all the cars. That's why they're not working. What's he doing? He's freaking out. What do you want from me? They're getting more erratic. almost more violent. Like they're dissatisfied with something or frustrated. The first one seems so calm by comparison. Yeah, there's a beautiful sight. So now where are we getting? Next town over? But yeah, the event, the infection, whatever you want to call it, must have wiped out all electronic devices, including the engines of cars. Because that's the common theme, is everyone's cars just sort of stopped moving. Not getting through there, but there's definitely a phone. So there must be another path. In the back of the warehouse?
Why on earth are you there? Why aren't you calling from home?
It's hard to explain. I'm having to move around to follow it. When it finds a suitable host, it begins to amplify. Sorry, I'm not making much sense.
They're talking about flu and a quarantine on the radio, but this... I know you're not that kind of doctor, but it all just sounds really weird.
We don't know exactly what it is yet, but it's got something to do with the other night.
Stephen, your face, the mark, do you think you're infected?
It's not a disease, Lizzie. It's something else. There's something Kate said about patterns. I can't grasp it clearly yet.
Okay, come over. Have some lunch. We can talk properly. Have you spoken with Kate?
She's locked herself in the observatory. She's buried in the data. But it's already out here in the world. I need to see how it adapts.
How what adapts? Stephen, try to explain.
Time's up. Lizzie, listen. Be ready. I need to go. It's moving again. I'll call you later.
That's not a pleasant sound. Did it get lighter in here than it was a moment ago? That can't be a good sound. That's what it sounds like when it's moving around. Am I gonna find it still sentient and existing somewhere? In some physical form? Am I gonna see anything in a physical form besides insects? And discarded belongings and homes? They were still working on this one.
Do you think she'll like it?
It's in an awful state, Stephen. I don't think
It'll be an
she'll...
adventure. It'll mean putting down roots here, maybe a family.
Are you sure she wants children? What, to stay here? It's not her place, you know.
Don't start that again, please.
I mean, she's ambitious, love, and she's, well, older. She's not going to want to stay cooped up at home looking after the kids.
Is that how you felt about me?
Oh, stop it, Stephen. That's not what I meant, and you know it. I'm just saying you should make a choice. If it's a family you want, well, you know how much Lizzie wants a family.
Jesus, Mum, I didn't come here for marriage guidance. I just asked what you thought about a fucking house.
Stephen Appleton language.
Sorry, it's just that you have to understand, Kate is the most brilliant, extraordinary, wonderful person I've ever known. She's like no one else. The way she looks at things, it's like she has whole worlds inside her head. I don't think you or anyone really understands that.
She's the most extraordinary person you've ever met. And that's why you slept with someone else. Is that it? There's not even doors in this house. They're still working on it. So this is the house that Kate and Stephen were gonna live in then. Made a mess in here, glass is broken. Part of the storm, part of the bombings. If this is some kind of weird limbo state, did the glass break before the state was established? Lots of paintings that aren't hung up. So this is it here. The two most important characters in the story so far, Stephen and Kate. We're gonna live right here. They're still working on it. Now it'll never be finished. That's just the fact of it. There's a few directions to try here. Let's check past this gate.
Physical changes are evident. Although the butterfly burn is now faded, I can clearly see the change in my pores up close. As I record these words, I can feel myself hearing them as if for the first time, as if I'm both speaker and listener simultaneously. I am a scientist. I can only deal with the evidence I have. And this points in one simple direction. It's not in the observatory. It's in me.
So I was calling them Mobius strips. Those little figure eights may have been butterfly icons. This butterfly infection they're talking about, the mark. So were Steven and Kate studying this, or Kate was studying this, and then Steven and Kate had a row about Lizzie, and something happened, containment was breached. Maybe the insects got out or something, or it got through the electrical system. And then it infected both of them. Is that what we're going for here? Maybe they're both alive.
Kate, can you hear me? Listen, I'm trying to make things right. I've isolated myself. I'm in the old bunker at the substation. Just keep this band clear. If it's still alive, I'll try and check in every hour. Kate, I've convinced them to use the gas. I didn't know how else to stop it. I couldn't save them. Kate, it's in us, too. I've made arrangements for myself after the strike, after I finish the job. You need to think of that too. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry about it all.
So if we look for a substation, we might find what happened to Steven after all. Whether he survived any of this, or if he's gone too. Another phone. I wonder if the fact that they were infected with the butterfly mark, if that could somehow mean that maybe they're immune. What if they're the only people left?
No phones, you know the protocol. That doesn't matter now. It's figured out how to circumvent the telecommunications blackout. What? I didn't think it could. Kate understood. She saw how adaptable it was. How smart. Jesus Christ, you're talking about it like it's alive. You have to assume that everyone here is infected. We can't know that. We're infected. It's killed all the birds, and now it's in us. It's trying to leave the valley any way it can. The quarantine is not enough. You've got to remove the carriers. You've got to cut off its energy source, its food. I've already told you, Stephen, I'm not going to order an airstrike. You have to. Now it knows we're onto it. It's going to keep on spreading as fast as it can. The quarantine and blackout will hold it in check. They've cut all of the phones out of the valley, so it's only you communicating out now. You're listening. It's figured out ways around it. Radio waves, something. All of the lines are cut, but the phones are working anyway. You've done all the right things, but it's not enough. You've got to stop it before it adapts again. Stephen, my family, my wife and kids. You know perfectly well what you've got to do. I can't do it. Don't ask me to do it. You're asking me to sign their death warrant, my own family. Damn it, don't you think I'm aware of that? I'll still be here when you drop the fucking stuff. Don't you lecture me about sacrifice, you spineless little shit. If you're so full of ideas, you come here and try dealing with it. Tell them the time when we had a choice is over. Tell them to do it. You've got to do it now.
So some of that's the same call we saw before. I'll be signing their death warrants. Don't you know? And then, don't you think I understand that? I'll still be here when you drop the fucking things. All that stuff. That was the we've heard that call from the other side. So those are the two locations that those the people on the phone were located at. It also clarifies the bomb thing. They weren't just bombing things. They were gassing the whole place, which makes sense. That's how you wipe everyone out. You poison them. You can't just carpet bomb everyone into oblivion and have that actually succeed the same way that the gas would. Another mechanic's shop with a phone.
It's all over the valley. Don't you get that? This isn't some abstract thing. Whatever came down into the tower has got out. They've quarantined the whole valley.
It's right here in the observatory.
It's out in the world. It's adapting and spreading. Do you understand?
No, we can't turn it away. It's come too far.
Okay, people are disappearing. Shut it down now.
No. If you won't help me, I'll do it on my own. I'm gonna route all the power back through Tower 6.
Kate.
Wait. It's trying to break through again.
Wait.
So this is where Steven was the whole time. We had those phone calls. We've witnessed both those phone calls from the other side, I think. I think they were right there by the observatory, like some of the first stuff we encountered. And now we're just witnessing it from Steven's perspective. It's his side of each of these phone calls. But did it amount to anything is the question. Did any of this work? What's back here? Restricted area. Nothing's restricted anymore, silly. I'm beyond that point. Back down to the farms. Are these the same farms as before? I'm not looping back. The Appleton's farms. I might be looping back into the same farm again, which is dangerous. It's hard to tell what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's I think that's the tree from before, or maybe not. Oh, this is probably all blocked off, isn't it, to stop me from going there? They don't want me looping around into a previous zone. Or maybe they do let me. Yeah, you can just hop the fence. Yep, we're on the front side of the windmill again. How much ground have I covered? Wow. I've been playing everything in one sitting since we woke up at the giving tree. That's what, as I was calling it. So this is all... Oh yeah, here's where the cattle was dying. Alright, back over the fence we go then. Wow, we looped all the way around that thing in a huge circle. That's a crazy perspective. Let's get back over it. Let's see what we can find. We need to follow Steven's story. I'm surprised they let you do that. I kind of just assumed... Let's get back to this back door before we go off somewhere else. It all looks like an open world, but I kind of just assumed that it was all secretly kind of linear. Like there was walls you couldn't get past and you had to go in a big circle and go through the semi-linear sequence of areas is how I figured the game would be laid out, just because otherwise your players could aim endlessly and not get the arcs that you want them to. But it looks like they let you totally wander around wherever you wanted. Time of day is changing drastically. I think that's just because I changed regions, though. I think each region of the map has its own time of day and weather set.
Should I come here? This was a mistake.
What do you want me to say? You knew what you were getting into.
Really?
Well, I'm sorry we don't measure up to your exacting standards, Dr. Collins. Maybe you just need to give us ordinary humans a break.
What? Ordinary humans like Lizzie Graves? Did you really think that I wouldn't find out? Frank told me. Or did you forget there's one person in this shithole who actually talks to me?
Kate, it was just a drink.
Don't bother, Steven!
Oh, for Christ's sake. Kate, slow down.
You were engaged to her, Stephen. You nearly married her.
Oh, come on, it was just a drink.
Then why the hell did you lie to me about it?
Because I knew you'd be mad and then it would end up in a row. You wanted to focus on the event tonight.
Oh, so you were actually doing me a favor. Wow, I guess I just forgot to say thank you. Do not treat me like I'm an idiot.
You're overreacting. I know you're stressed.
Just don't. You keep away from me tonight. I'm not gonna let you ruin this for me.
Kate. Kate, come on, this is crazy.
So there it is, the big fight. The fight that led to them being so distant from each other moments before maybe all of this happened. The incident that ended the world. Because he had a drink with a girl that he used to be engaged with. Maybe he had more than a drink.
Pressure in my eyes again. I can't move my legs, can't feel my face. When I collapsed, the light was waiting for me there. Caught me, lowered me here. Now it's pooling around my feet, watching me. The printers are spewing out page after page of zeros. It's frightened too. It'll be okay. It'll be fine. I'll look after you. It's alone. It's scared. Oh, it's traveled so far. It's okay. I can help you. We can be together now. 10 seconds to signal fusion. We can be together. 3 seconds. 2.
That's sounding pretty final right there. So all this happened for some kind of life form that's also a signal. Like if radio waves came to Earth and were sentient. Where about am I? Oh, there's the butterfly, the Mobius strip effects everywhere. Gotta press forward. Whatever took out the electricity was temporary, it seems, because we still have flashing lights and stuff everywhere. Which is a bit surprising. It seemed so final at the time, the fact that everyone's car stopped working, but it's just like a burst. Maybe that's what the energy... Maybe that's the energy that was required to fuel this connection in the first place. And it was just a temporary disable of everything? Maybe. There was definitely a point when everyone was driving beforehand. You could hear the hum of the generators at this power station. Isn't the substation where... Isn't this where he... This is where Steven is camped out, right? Let's do a double check real quick. There's no doors? What's back here? Generators. Was there not a door to get in? At all? This seems like it's where he'd be, right? He said that he talked about holding up the substation. Oh, back door. Oh, where do you lead?